How you doing? This is John, and welcome to John's Long Box. Today we're looking at Hawkeye Volume 1, Number 1, 60 cents, Marvel Comics. I don't know the year. I kind of forget. We'll look at it when we get to the indicia. But this was his first solo comic. It was a 4-issue miniseries. It was a test run. And look at that. That's Hawkeye. Look at that great, ridiculous costume with the points on it. He's got some sort of trick arrow, and he's aiming, and look how muscular he is. He's freaking built like Lou Ferrigno over here, Arnold Schwarzenegger. And this is Hawkeye. That's Bobby Morse. If you've been watching my channel for a while, you'll know that she was with Kazar in the Astonishing Tales. I think it was number 20. She's been a Marvel character since at least 1972. She started out as a SHIELD agent and then became a costumed, upgraded to a costume superhero later on. So let's take a look. 60 cents. I can't read that date, so we'll just look at the indicia. Let's check out the indicia. 1983, Hawkeye Volume 1, Number 1. Get some Cracker Jacks. I never liked Cracker Jacks. It just seemed like oh, caramel. Oh, husk. So let's look at this. Mark Gruenwald. What can you say about Mark Gruenwald? Just an amazing writer. Classic writer. Just all around workhorse for Marvel. Did so much. Geez, I could go on about his credits forever. Avengers, Iron Man, Squadron Supreme. Such a good guy. Brett Breeding Mark Gruenwald is the writer and penciler. I almost skipped that. Brett Breeding is the inker. I don't know much about him, I'm sorry to say. Joe Rosen is a letterer. He's been around forever. Bob Sharon, colorist. I don't know much. There you go. Dennis O'Neil and Jim Shooter. Dennis O'Neil, legendary at Marvel and DC. He controlled Batman for like 25 years. He was responsible for getting Neil Adams on Batman. That brought Batman back from the golly gee whiz hokey TV show. But I still love the TV show. Don't get me wrong. I love the TV show. And Dennis O'Neil, just oh man. I saw one guy. I wish I could give the guy credit. He was a YouTuber, and he said when Dennis O'Neil died, that was the end of comics. Now we're just watching him decay. And at first I was like, wow, that's kind of hyperbolic. And then I realized, yeah, Dennis O'Neil was the last comic book editor that lived, breathed, and ate comics, as far as I know, and had a respect, for comics, eye for talent. Oh man, without Dennis O'Neil, we wouldn't have comics. They would have descended back into hokiness, or never ascended out of the hokiness is a better way to put it. And then Jim Shooter. I can't go a week without talking about Jim Shooter. To me, he was Marvel's. This is controversial to say. Without Stan Lee as the editor-in-chief, we wouldn't have Marvel Comics. Then Marvel kind of floundered for a while, under Roy Thomas and a few others. And then we had Jim Shooter, grabbed a house on fire, put out the fire, and just streamlined Marvel into the everything. I mean, we owe every Marvel movie to the works of Jim Shooter. We wouldn't have it without Jim Shooter. He was a tyrant who pulled a tight rein on everybody and made the best quality product. And I know a lot of the creators are still bitter about what a dictator he was. But I just got the comics, and the comics were wonderful. Look at this artwork. That's Hawkeye, man of action. The swashbuckling boots. He's like bow and arrow pirate. Look at that. That's so freaking cool. And of course I skipped a page. So at this point, he was kicked out of the Avengers due to affirmative action. He got replaced by the Falcon, and he did not take it too kindly. He mouthed off to everybody, and to the point Captain America had to be like, "Listen, man, Falcon's a good guy." He goes, and Hawkeye's like, "I'm not saying he's not a good guy. I'm saying, why are you kicking me off the team? I don't give a crap about your government programs. I don't give a crap about anything else. I've fought for this team. I bled for this team. I earned a spot on the team, and now you're kicking me out." So he was freaking bitter and pissed, and he goes out and he takes a job in the private sector, and he becomes head of security for Cross Technologies, which was a rival for Stark. And Darian Cross became a supervillain who was directly responsible for the origin of Scott Lang Ant-Man, which I showed that one of the very first showcases when I started this channel. So at this period, he's got this flying sky cycle, and it became like part of Hawkeye's repertoire. Bow and arrows, purple costume, sky cycle. And he's zooming around, and he's looking at people doing the break-ins, and just lands, doesn't shoot them from above, because that's not Hawkeye. Lands, brags, I got these arrows that say you're wrong, and then just starts firing at him. Boom. And look at this. 3 shots. Oh, 1 arrow, it splits, or is it one pull? Boom. This guy gets tied up in bolas, this guy's in net, and this guy in gum, because he's Hawkeye. Ah, oh, Star Frontiers. I remember this TSR role-playing game. This was fun, but it was like Math, the role-playing game. And, you know, when you're 12 years old, you just want to shoot space aliens and have lightsabers, stuff like that. You don't want to have to figure out how to overhaul your ship and do all this math. So here he didn't even get off. 3 shots, 3 bullseyes. Now I'll just have to put the sled on hover and check out my accuracy. So thanks a lot, guys. So here he goes. These guys were on his team. He's training them, and he's training himself. Constantly training. A pleasure. Speak for yourself, lot. You didn't get shafted with the glue arrow. You're paying my dry cleaning bill. Because Georgie boy, you're the sleeping genius. The rocket sled handles like... So this guy tuned up his rocket sled. Or maybe he made it. I forget. And he's old guy, you know, showing him this. So now he's making friends with everybody on the team. They're training. You know, constantly training. Oh, I talked about this yesterday. So this guy, look at this guy. Look at, he beefy. He's just a big guy. Big guy. Can't pull Hawkeye's bow. Is there a trick to it? Yep, there is. Was he showing off again? He goes, check you later, George. I've got some business to attend to. I was just about to head to the office. You know, so this is Bobby Morris. Oh, this is Mrs. Daniels. Hey, Sheila. Okay, it's not Bobby Morris. I'm wrong. I should have realized from the hair color. So here he is, picking up the chicks already. There's, you know, check her out. Hawkeye showing off. Yeah, is there a trick to it? Yes, practice. So this guy couldn't pull back Hawkeye's bow because Hawkeye's a monster. He's just ripped. So now he's showing off to Sheila, taking her for a ride. And now he's talking about all his girls. You know, Black Widow. You know, one of the most beautiful, alluring, sexy, dangerous women in all of Marvel. Wanda, you know. Everybody loves Wanda. You know, she was one of my first comic book crushes, you know, and he's just like talking, now I got this chick, I'm head of security, you got respect, you know, I got a team under me. This is Hawkeye, you know, showing off his apartment, you know, getting all showered up for the lady. She's drinking some wine, getting some lovey-dovey, and now talking about his origin. You know, here he is back in the carnival. That's his brother Barney, the swordsman, who trained him, and then he's like, you're not good enough, you got to be better, and you know, and then he finds out that Barney's stealing from him, you know, the obligatory. So he chases him down, and they're fighting, and his brother cuts this, and he gets hurt. Now he sees Iron Man, and now he dresses up. He's like, I need a costume. So look at this little skirt. So he's fighting Iron Man with a bow and arrow. Then he joins the Avengers. You know, Iron Man, you know, realized the situation, helped him out, and, you know, Iron Man recognized this brash kid who wants to take on the world. You know what I mean? If you see the movies, you know that's Iron Man, brash, taking on the world kind of thing. He joins the Avengers, fight with Captain America, bring it to Sheila, he getting some lovey-dovey, and back into his costume, and off to work because the alarm went off. And who's this mysterious figure? And it's Hawk, we know it as Mockingbird. I think this was the debut of her as her costume. So he's taken on S.H.I.E.L.D. agent Bobby Morse. She was Agent 19, and we got some bubble yum. And she's like, I surrender, boom. And look, he shoots one, but the other one hits him in the jaw. I always remember that. And she's flipping around, and she's on top of him with the battle staves. And he's like, okay, yeah, fine. I've always behaved myself around ladies, and now he's got the advantage. Kicking the kicking the quivers, and whatever. Fighting. Mile High Comics. I have a lot. I've used Mile High Comics a lot. High prices, but excellent service, excellent condition. They will have the comic that you want. And now he takes in Bobby Morris, beats her. You guys take it from here. And Sheila's beat up. Look, has he stopped doing anything? You know, the only time he paused was to tell the origin. Running around. He's got a flare arrow. And spread the good news. What is this? Oh, subscriptions. Okay. And here, we got some cross agents that these guys are bad guys. And this was a debate with me and my friends. I remember my friend Carl and I just hanging out, friendly debating because we mostly agreed. But we were trying to run other scenarios through our head. I have it. I'll tell you. Okay, I'll get to it when I get to the panel. So here he is, outnumbered, million goons, and what does he do? He drops, and he starts shooting through. He takes out the electricity, killed all the lights, and here we are. They're shooting each other. Blam! So he's reaching in and shooting them. Thoop, just taking out agents. Now, we as a kid reading this, my friend and I, we were like, was he murdering these people? My friend Jimmy, I think he was in on this conversation also. So I think the three of us argued, was he murdering people? I mean, shot him. Because we're like, it's dark. He can't tell what arrows he had. And later on in the Thunderbolts, Hawkeye said that when he reaches into his quiver, he could feel almost like there's like a braille on each arrow. And he's constantly trained, so he knows what arrow he's pulling out, because we were like, it's dark, he doesn't see the arrow. But I didn't think as a kid, he can't see behind his back to get what arrow, and he always gets the arrow he wanted anyway. So back then, I wouldn't believe that he was killing, and we didn't want to believe that he was killing these people. But the evidence in the panel didn't say otherwise. But later on, I'm gonna justify that he knew what arrows he was shooting because of that braille system that he puts on his arrow tips. So now he gets the girl hostage, and flare arrow, he surrenders, gets thrown in there with Bobby Morris, and she's just like, see, I wasn't robbing the place, I knew that there was bad guys. And of course Sheila is the leader of the bad guys. Ta-da! You didn't see that coming from a mile away. And note that it was set up because they were talking about the women in his past. Scarlet Widow, Black Widow seduced Clint and used him. Wanda, she was a former bad guy. He was a former bad guy. So all the women in his past have been trouble, and now they're gonna dump some sloosh all over him. And you know, you don't want to get sloosh all over you. And he's just like, give it up for a second and leave me alone. All my life I've been dumped on. I'm beginning to enjoy it. And she just reads them the riot act. You know, this is what they taught you in the Avengers. But what a bunch of jerks. They should see you now. I'll bet you let them down in a pinch too. Whenever you get your feelings hurt. He's like, shut up. So there he goes. He's taking off his costume and shooting some arrows, using some threads, and pulls himself out. Moment of doubt. Woman berates him. He's like, I ain't gonna shut up. She got his blood boiling, and he's out. He called the Sky Cycle, and he used the magnetic arrow, and the Sky Cycle came, and now he had his moment of doubt. So what does this alpha man, tough guy do? Takes off his shirt, check out these pecs, and now I'm gonna beat the crap out of him with no shirt on. This is what the Nick Fury would have done, and this is what Hawkeye's doing. So now he drops off Bobby Morris and just freaking crashes right into the window, and killing the momentum here. Oh, look at this. Oh, I forgot about this. This is John Byrne. They asked him to do an editorial on why he likes working for Marvel. And he says, why should I write when I got such amazing people to work with? So he drew. Look at that. There's John Byrne. And superstar at the time. I keep saying that John Byrne and George Perez are the two greatest comic book artists, living comic book artists, whatever comic book artists. And just if that doesn't prove it, then I don't know. So he just smashes through the building, no shirt on, doesn't even have a bow and arrow, just starts kicking him, boom, boom. And keep in mind, he's also one of the greatest martial. Oh, he's got his bow over here, and he's not going to beat up the girl, but he's just pissed off. He goes, "You hear me?" So she takes off, and Mockingbird jumps on with him. I'll get a new chick. He's feeling hurt. I'll get a new chick, and the long silence, and that's the end. Fully contained first issue. Compare this to the Hawkeye that I just showcased yesterday. Are they the same character? That's for you to decide. I'm saying they got the same name. They don't even have the same costume. They don't even have the same powers. This guy's got trick, but he doesn't have the Green Arrow hokey arrows. He's got trick arrows that make sense for a superhero. He doesn't have the boxing glove arrow like Green Arrow does. Stuff like Green Arrow always had to me, Green Arrow. They tightened up Green Arrow and made him a better character. But in the 70s, I would have picked Hawkeye over it. But I do like that both of the Archer were ladies' men. Both of the Archers were brash. Both of the Archers had a force of personality that you had to take them seriously, because let's face it, they're Archers. You know what I mean? In a team with Hawkeye, with a team with Thor and Iron Man, and Wonder Man and all these powerhouses, the Hulk and Giant Man, you have to constantly force yourself to be better and be the best and be noticed and live up to these walking gods. And and that's what this character did. I thought it was great. You weren't Mopai. This is not Mopai. So tell me, what do you think? Am I right? Am I wrong? You're not gonna hurt my feelings. I'm a big boy, so let's talk about this. Which Hawkeye is Hawkeye? Which one is better? I wear my opinions on my sleeve. This is Hawkeye. All right. Thanks a lot. Thanks for taking time to listen to me rant and rave. I'll do something tomorrow. I don't know what I'm gonna do yet. I have a request for a creepy. I got to reread it because it's been years. So I'll reread that, and I'll do that, who knows, maybe in a day or two. But thanks a lot, everybody. Thanks for the new subscriptions. Christmas time's coming. Thank you so much, everybody. And we'll see you soon with another showcase. Bye-bye.